Today we're going to take a slight detour. I usually don't like to mix my skepticism with politics. One agenda is based on the preponderance of evidence, the other is based on... But it was actually politics that got me involved in the skeptical movement. Back in 2008, I decided to call Pendulette's bluff and test whether or not I could give away that which could not be sold. As it turns out, you can. And it was awesome.
This guy, John Rail, gave away his vote on election day. There's a nice little video about it.
And Penn loved it.
It just made me feel amazing that I just said something into a camera and this guy went out and did this beautiful little mini documentary, whatever you want to call it. Thanks, John.
It's the reason I started filming. Now, 4 years later, we're doing it again. Because it sounded like fun. However, this time around we were not met with the same universal enthusiasm and positive feedback that we were in 2008. Now, certain people, who were well aware of what happened 4 years ago, decided that letting a friend fill out my ballot was insulting, dishonest, and shitty. I even received veiled threats from a close friend. Oh wait, he was just looking out for me. Well, maybe. So I thought long and hard. Where should I exercise my right and freedom in such a way that offends other people's perception of the sanctity of that right and freedom? Perfect.
All homosexuals are going to hell. All of you are going to fuck.
Here we go. What's your last name?
Rail, R-A-E-L.
R-A-E-L. He's just allowed to go with you and nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as long as he's not your boss.
He's not my boss?
Okay.
No.
And he's not a member of the union. Or
I literally don't know.
Okay, excellent. Good. Let me see. Make sure whether they can go a day. Okay, I'm with you. Alrighty. And it goes in a whole big bank. Yeah, and it's in.
Done.
Nice. I'm John Rail. This is my pal, Leeman Parker. So Leeman, full disclosure, who'd you vote for?
Glad you brought that up, John. I actually thought really hard about who would be the best candidate for the future that lays ahead. And I felt confident that I voted for the candidate that has the best and strongest economic plan, the social beliefs that I completely follow, and with my heart feel are right for America.
Oh. Did you vote for the candidate who seemed the most confident?
I did. Confident was a very big issue, and I voted for the candidate that seemed the most confident. I also voted for the candidate that seemed the most personable.
You definitely voted for the candidate who won the debates, though, right?
Oh, yeah, every single one of them.
That's who you voted for. Okay, good. Do you think somebody should not have the right to give their vote to a friend?
Giving the vote to... I'm so torn.
It's complicated.
It is complicated.
It's fucking complicated. This has been a little bit more controversial than I remember it 4 years ago. I got defriended over this.
Like in real life? Like the idea of a sanctity of voting doesn't make sense to me. I could see how somebody would just be annoyed, like, all right, I get it, you're giving your vote away. I'll friend you again in 2 months when this is all over.
Well, what blows me away is that a few people who were really offended at me giving my vote away, they said, just stay home. Just don't vote at all. Just stay home. Don't do it, man. And then to me, like, not voting seems about on par with giving it to somebody else.
It's the exact same.
A lot of people are so upset about it, but really, I mean, the difference between this and, say, if you just told me your opinions, what's the difference? I think Michael Shermer actually sent me an email saying that, so what? It's like selling your soul on a piece of paper. Who cares?
Yeah, that is true. I guess you're getting to the semantics of what is voting, like the actual like punching of the paper, or like the thought process that goes into.
You know, we'll leave it up to you. Not that we have a choice. Some people have accused me of not taking the right to vote seriously, or making a mockery of it, or just summed up my entire position with a 90s catchphrase. I'll admit, I even copped to these accusations. I thought, well, if I'm not using my right to vote the same way that everyone else is, I guess I can't take it seriously. If I'm turning it into something fun, I guess I'm making a mockery of it, right? I mean, I would like to believe that I take my right to vote very seriously, even though I let a friend fill out my ballot. I'd like to believe that I take the freedom of speech very seriously, even though I write nut-kicking sketch comedy. I believe in the right to vote. I believe that every citizen should exercise that right no matter how they choose to. And so long as they let me bring a friend into the booth, this is how I'm going to exercise my right. Because it's fun. I'm sorry, I don't have the same pretentious reasons that I did 4 years ago. I'm even more sorry for trying to come up with lame excuses in the 11th hour to answer to the harsh accusations of friends. I mean, it's embarrassing when you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar by a few skeptics with a bad case of self-righteousness, and you don't have a sexy intellectual answer. I just wanted the damn cookie. Maybe having fun with my rights and freedoms means that I can't take them seriously or have respect for those rights and freedoms. I sincerely hope not. And I hope that my friends can gain control over their own disequilibrium and continue to engage in dialogue with me. One argument that was frequently shoved in my face that I would like to squash right now is the idea that because others have fought, suffered, and died for something, it is therefore sacred and or great. This is both an irrelevant argument since humans have been fighting, suffering, and dying for just about every ideology or cause in history, and a disgustingly exploitative argument that obviously turns the lives of these people who have fought, suffered, and died into a fallacious premise. This doesn't mean that the people using this argument are disgusting, awful people. It's an instinctive argument to make. It's a desire to engage other people's empathy, to have someone feel what you feel. There's nothing wrong with that instinct, but the result is that you've made a very foul argument, ironically, because your heart is in the right place. But like the captain always says,
love with your heart, use your head for everything else.
Captain Disillusion!
Okay, so I have a lot of reasons for not wanting to cast my own ballot. I won't go into all of those, but here are 3. I personally don't feel comfortable or confident making decisions about how the world should or should not be. I do not subscribe to any political or social agendas. In an election, the goal of a political party is to win, and the path to victory is not mutually inclusive with the truth or the preponderance of evidence. That's not cynicism. An election is not a measurement of truth. I'm obscenely optimistic. Historically speaking, life has never been so good, and will most likely continue to get better. So I'm not worried about other people making the wrong or stupid choice. Call me naive, but that's not how I think of my fellow citizens. You know that Idiocracy wasn't a documentary sent from the future, right? And while the system might need some improvement, that's not why I don't fill out my own ballot. And for the record, I love living in a country that has voting. Especially voting where I can hand my ballot to a friend. Oh, and apparently I'm white. And this is someone who hangs out with me in person. In fairness, he does wear glasses, and he's a photographer who can't use manual focus. Well, that's all for the 2012 election. You saw the results. Here's to a happy and productive 4 years. And I will see you again in 2 weeks when I bring you my next episode, 2012 Gets Kicked in the Nuts, The Apocalypse, featuring skeptical guest stars Adam Savage, Rachel Bloom, Jarek Kaufman, Mr. Deity, DJ Grothy, and did I mention Adam Savage? One last note. If you're lame like me, you probably missed the Australian Skeptics Convention. But it's not too late to go to the Victorian Skeptics website and donate so that they can continue to produce kick-ass events that we will hopefully attend next year.